had 2 preemptive wars which have killed, well, in Iraq, 1.5 million people, conservative estimate. Okay, the official justification for the Afghanistan invasion, which happened in October 2001, so about a month after the 9/11 attacks, was because, well, I don't even remember, to be honest, but Afghanistan was harbouring Osama bin Laden. Okay,
allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. Everything I'm going to say is alleged, by the way. Now, the alleged hijackers, the 19 hijackers, who they named incredibly quickly as well. None of them were actually from Afghanistan. They were from Saudi Arabia, Egypt. I can't remember the other countries. Maybe Jordan, but I'm not sure.
Mostly Saudi Arabia, I think.
Yeah, Saudi Arabia, yeah. Which, I mean, how ironic is it that most of them are from Saudi Arabia, which is obviously America's big friend.
In the region.
Yeah, and, you know, let's start... I think in a way, like, the people that I would really like to give this information to are actually not the people that don't follow the news and have no interest, but actually, without naming any names, I've been in contact with an old school friend, and he is, quote unquote, he says, I'm very political, but the problem is that what his view of very political is, he reads the newspapers every day and watches mainstream TV, and so he's more sure of his beliefs than someone who doesn't know anything about politics. And this is the thing which is really difficult. So I question him occasionally. I say, have you heard any of the alternative theories about September 11? He says no. And I said, do you find it strange, like the Patriot Act, which is probably, I think it's thousands of pages, didn't it seem like it was prepared very quickly? And he said, oh yeah, it was a knee-jerk reaction. And then Homeland Security. And I said, do you know that in Nazi Germany they had a thing called, I think it translated as Fatherland Security, and if you look at the two narratives, they're very, very similar, you know, protecting the people, etc. And then I bring up all kinds of other things, and he just doesn't want to know, just get this complete stonewall. But, you know, I mean, Iraq is out there, it's mainstream news that was an illegal invasion. Why is there no reaction?
To all the lies.
To all of it, yeah. Why is there no reaction? As we're sitting here now, beginning of October, over the summer we've had Edward Snowden, we've had Bradley Manning, and we've had Syria. You know, all mainstream news. What's the main reason that there's no reaction?
Very good question. What does it take?
I'm full of good questions. I don't have any answers.
What does it take for people to move from awareness to action? That is, what will trigger?
Should I tell you what triggered it for me? No. I don't know whether you agree with this, but I think that there are certain people who are more likely to kind of digest this information and have a moment when they say, yeah, it's not what I thought it was. There's probably certain people who have particularly open mind or experimental or
curiosity,
yeah.
About the world.
What it was for me was I saw a presentation. I knew all about the 9/11 theories, and I saw Loose Change, which is, again, for anybody who wants to know about 9/11, I probably recommend Loose Change 2, because the first one is a bit overkill, and a few of those arguments have been a bit debunked. So
that's why they made the second, I think.
Yeah,
sure. Recut, they improved the shaky parts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I saw that and I was pretty open to it. And then I saw a presentation. I can't remember who it was by, and it was called the 9/11 7/7 Connection, because as everybody knows, we had our 9/11 here, the 7/7 bombings, 2005. And it was all about the similarities between the two. So, for example, let's think of an example. The war games, or the training exercises,
the drills,
which were supposedly going on, which were very similar to what actually happened.
Like a same event at the very same site where they actually happened. Bombings, bars blowing up, etc.
Yeah, I mean, the changing of the laws, all the laws in England which were taking away civil liberties, very similar. They've got a thing called the Inquiries Act, which controls inquiries, and we've had all this money wasted on Hutton inquiries, Butler inquiries, Chilcot inquiries, and all that. I mean, it's just incredible. All that money has been wasted. I mean, if you gave Tony Blair or George Bush or now Barack Obama, if you gave them 5-10 minutes alone in a room with someone who really knows what they're talking about and who's done their research, you know, they'd be buried in 10 minutes. But that's never going to happen. You know, anyway. So when I suddenly realised that a couple of dots got joined, I suddenly thought, oh, I'm getting it now. And then I watched The Corporation, and I saw how the nature of a corporation, and that the corporation has the rights of a person, so you can't hold the corporation, you know, you can't put the corporation in jail, you know, you've got CEOs, of course, but then you've got the corporation. You can't put the corporation in jail.
Yeah, this corporation personhood status was, if I remember right, was achieved or was obtained using slavery laws. I think Absolutely. It was quite a clever trick by the corporations to use slavery laws to achieve this personhood protection Absolutely. That ensured them the impunity we are seeing now, basically.
Yeah, slavery was abolished, and they wanted to give them the rights, and some clever person came up with the idea, I'm going to build a company, I'm going to start a company with those rights. And just to let people know what actually a corporation, what it means, because I always thought of a corporation as a multinational company, which of course that is one thing, but I think I'm right in thinking that the definition of a corporation is where the shareholders don't run the company. Mm-hmm. So you can have obviously sole ownership, partnership, you could have a consortium, 5 people who all put the money in and run the company. But am I right, a corporation is where the people who put the money in or don't run the company. Is that right?
I think you're asking the wrong guy.
All right. Well, I'm an English teacher, so I should know.
You sound like someone who knows much more than I do on the subject. So I'm just nodding.
All right. Well, I'm asking myself.
I'll take this.
All right. I'm fairly confident that corporation means external shareholders. Okay?
Let's start on this assumption.
Now, of course, what does that mean if you've got external shareholders? If you and I have a partnership, we run the company together, we put all the money in, we've got a certain incentive, okay? And we are likely to have some kind of passion for what we're doing. But we're also, when we see that our actions are going to cause environmental disaster or loss of life of people, or we're going to cut out small companies, or we're going to force people, into starvation and poverty.
This is, by the way, what the current beautiful system calls externalities.
Yeah, externalities. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because we don't have a responsibility to somebody else. Us being 2 decent people, which most people are, we're going to say, should we be doing that purely for money? Now, of course, when you've got a corporation, you've got external shareholders. Now, I've never got my head around the idea of a shareholder saying to someone who's running the company, why my profit's gone down. I don't know what the dialogue would be where the person who's the manager of this company would say, well, people are going to die if we do this. I'm not sure. Some people say that it's actually in corporate law that you can't do anything to jeopardize the profits of the company. You have to by corporate law. I think this may be true in America. I'm not 100% sure. But I don't know where that dialogue, are these shareholders, these very rich people, are they so out of touch that they just don't care? I haven't really got my head around that. But I think the idea is, as you said, they're called externalities, which is a cost which goes outside.
Yes, borne by the majority, society at large.
Exactly, yeah. We foot the bill and generations to come foot the bills, yeah. So I think, again, I have arguments with people about how much of this is about misguided people, just not giving a shit. Some people say the top 1% or top 0.1%, whatever you want to call it, they're psychopaths, they're sociopaths. Some people say that it's such a well-oiled system that they don't actually have to make particularly conscious choices. Mm-hmm. They just follow the machine.
I think this is probably more the case.
Is that more the case?
I don't see really this cabal of evil people every day, waking up and see how much hurt and evil can we do to them.